students are absent today, so we have a small group, and what we are doing is we are working on the RAP strategy that we have discussed, and we all have agreed upon to investigate, explore, and to try, because we have reviewed some pre-test results, and one thing that we all have in common, except a few of you, is that you don't care much about reading. The most reading that some of you say that you do is to check text messages, Facebook, or any type of social media. But when it comes to, say, reading a newspaper or reading any type of schoolwork, thumbs down that you didn't like it. And I've told you guys of a brand new strategy that I've learned and a little secret to help improve this, to make it easier, that we're going to dissect through our paragraphs, maybe explore and investigate, and that was called our RAP strategy. And today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use that, and then you're going to try it with me after I show you an example of how to do it. But first, since I'm excited about our RAP strategy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up here for you. RAP. Bright and exciting. RAP strategy. You guys remember that? RAP. Say it with me. RAP. RAP. 3 easy steps. RAP. And we're going to review this here. The RAP strategy. The R stands for read the paragraph. So let me go. There are. Or read the passage, depending on what you're trying to read. I'm going to read. Read the passage or paragraph. Next is A. A stands for ask questions. You need to ask questions about what you've just read in order to understand it or to find the main idea. So we're going to ask questions about what you've read. Okay. And lastly is the P. And the P stands for, you're going to paraphrase, or in other words, you're going to retell in your own words what you just read. You're going to summarize it. How many of you sometimes read something and you have no idea what you just read? Did you have to go back, you have to reread it, and sometimes it still doesn't make sense. Do you ever run into that? Does anybody?
Yeah.
I have. Sometimes I'll read something and I say the words, but I have no idea what I just read. So I have to retell or paraphrase in your own words. Okay, so once again, we're going to use our RAP strategy, and I'm going to show you how that's done. RAP, R-A-P, R is read the passage. A, ask yourself questions about what you just read, and then P means to retell or to paraphrase. And I'm going to put some smiley faces up here because you guys are going to be smiling once you get the hang of it and once we use it. Okay, and I'm going to leave this up here so you can follow along to see if I'm doing each step of this strategy that we have agreed. We've actually signed contracts and little goals, if you guys remember the very first day after a pre-test, that this is what we were going to do. Okay, I have passed out reading called After Payday. It's getting close to payday. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you step by step how I would use this strategy if I were reading or working on an assignment, and here's how we are going to do it. Okay, I look at my paper and I see that it says After Payday. The very first paragraph, that's what I'm going to start with. Today is the first day of May. Yesterday was payday. Yesterday was payday for Kay and Ray Mason. Their payday is the last day of the month. They got $600. The Masons are paying their bills today. Ray is looking at the bills. Kay is writing checks. Okay, I've read the passage. Now, I'm going to do the next step, which is A. I'm going to ask questions. Can you guys tell me some words that you can use when you need to ask questions, when you need to find out more information? What's some words that we use for that?
What, how, why.
What, who, how, why. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Who? Okay, so I'm going to answer that. Who are we talking about? Kay and Ray Mason. What were they doing? They were paying bills today. Why? Because payday is the last day of the month. And if you look on your paper, you can see where I found the information. Okay? Now, the next paragraph, it says the Masons have to pay a lot of bills in May. They have to pay their rent today. The rent is for May. They have to pay the telephone bill for April. They have to pay the water bill for 3 months. And they have to pay Kay's doctor bill. They have to pay some other bills. Kay writes a check for the rent. She writes checks for the other bills. Okay, now I'm going to ask myself questions about the next paragraph. And a trick that I like to do is over on the side of my paper is I like to write down my notes. I like to say who. Okay, once again, it's the Masons. What were they doing? They have to pay their rent today. And I found that. And they have to pay the water bill for 3 months. I see that. Why? And what? Kay writes checks, and she writes for the other bills. Do you guys have any questions so far about what I've done? No? Okay, the last step in this is to retell in my own words of the RAP strategy, and that's P. And if I have to retell this in my own words for the second paragraph, the Masons are paying bills because the rent is due today. Kay is writing checks. Does that sound okay to you guys to retell it? Does that make sense? What I've retold? A little? Okay. The next paragraph says Kay writes a check for the rent. She writes checks for other bills. Ray asks, have we spent the last cent? Kay laughs, no. We have not spent the last cent, but we have spent a lot. Yesterday we had $625. Today we have $75 left. Okay, I'm going to have you guys help me out with this one. And what we're going to do is, you have followed along with me as I've read it. I've read the passage. Now, we're going to ask questions about the third paragraph here. So, I'm going to let one of you write on our board here. It's kind of tricky to write on, but it is fun to write on. It's kind of cool. Any volunteers to write? Michael, Talitha? Talitha's going to write. She has beautiful handwriting. So, Talitha's going to come down here. And if we had our paper projected up on the board, we would write it in our margin. But we're going to help Talitha write. And we have to ask some questions about what we just read. Okay. Once again, who are we talking about?
Masons.
The Masons. And what are their names?
Ray and Kay.
Ray and Kay. So you might want to put Talitha who. Write who. So it's okay. I'll help you out here. This tab is a little tricky. She's going to pick a color. She's using our RAP strategy, and she's doing the A part because we've already read. Okay, and she's going to put what? For who? Okay. Who are we talking about?
Masons.
The Masons.
We do like a little slash, is that?
Uh-huh. You can put a little slash. The Masons. Okay, now I'm going to have you choose a different color without the little checkers and dots in it. We'll get a solid print there. And what were the Masons doing?
Paying bills.
Okay, they were paying bills.
Writing checks.
Okay, so we're going to ask another question when we have to ask questions. So what should we suggest that Talitha writes up there? How about we put what to ask questions? And what did you say they were doing?
Paying bills.
They're paying bills, right? Okay, I noticed in this paragraph, Ray says, have we spent the last cent? Why do you think, so we might want to write why. Why do you think Ray is concerned if they've spent the last cent? Do you see anything within what we've read? Why would he be concerned?
Because they have a lot of bills and pay.
Okay, you're exactly right. In our third paragraph, within the first line, it said that, no, we have not spent the last cent, but we have spent a lot. So why? Because they have spent a lot. So Talitha, you might want to write, they have spent a lot. So, okay, can any of you remember how much they got paid? Do you remember that?
$600.
$625. You're right. So you might want to put a little note about the 625 up there, because I'm telling myself, okay, they got paid $625. So you may just want to put $625 on a board.
Lenora.
No, you could put they're paying bills and they've started with $625. You may want to put it in there somewhere just as a little note. Beautiful handwriting, great. All right, and guess what? They said today we have $75 left. That sounds like my paydays. Spend it down to the last few dollars. So they have spent a lot. So down here, I would probably put in my notes $75. That's what they have left, and that's what we know about. $75 left. Okay, our last part of our wrap strategy is P, and what does the P stand for? Paraphrase, good job, Michael, or retell in our own words to summarize. Does anyone want to try to say in your own words one sentence just about the small paragraph that we've read and what we've asked questions about? Anyone want to try to retell it in their own words? Jared, you want to try?
One.
Okay, I'll finish this for you since you guys don't want to try. Ray asked Kay if they have spent all of their money because they have paid a lot of bills. Kay does answer by saying they have spent a lot and they have $75 left. Does that sound good to you guys? Is there anything else you would add in or you want to say in your own words? Okay, since I could retell this, this probably means that I understand what I've read. If I couldn't retell in my own words, I'd probably want to go back and read it again. Okay, we're going to finish up here by saying, we can live on that, Ray says. The next payday is May the 15th. But can we have any fun? Kay says, yes, we can play cards. Carla and David can come and play cards with us. It's fun to play cards. Ray says, we can have a lot of fun. But can we have a lot of fun the next payday? We'll have $600, and we will not have many bills then. We can go away after the next payday. Let's go away the last 3 days in May. Yes, let's go away then, says Kay. Okay, I've done the first part. I've read the passage. Next, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to ask myself, what is it they want to do? What is it they want to do, guys?
Have fun.
Ray wants to have fun, you're right. What's he concerned about having fun?
Money.
Money. Okay. But what about Kay? Does she think that they can have fun without money? That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does she say they can do?
Play cards.
Play cards. And she said they're going to play cards with some friends. I do remember that. And Ray says, as I'm thinking as I was reading, we get paid again on May the 15th. And we won't have any bills left. What does Ray suggest they do?
Go on.
Go away. Good job. Then lastly, I've read the passage. We have asked questions. Now we have to paraphrase or retell in our own words. Does anyone want to give it a try? The very last paragraph to retell in your own words. It shouldn't be word for word. It should be in your words. How you summarize what you've read or how you're thinking about or process what you've read. Does anybody want to give that a try into your own words? Any volunteers? No? All right, to retell in my own words, Ray wants to get away the end of May because he wants to have fun. There won't be as many bills, so he knows there's going to be extra money. And that's what he has planned to do. What else would you say about the last paragraph in your own words? Anyone else have anything to say about it? Tyler, can you give me something about the last paragraph in your own words?
Ray wants to take a trip to, he wants to take a trip for 3 days. When they get paid. Again.
Yes, and very good, Tyler. See how he rephrases, he told in his own words that he wanted to take a trip for 3 days. And I wasn't as precise as that, but he remembered. Okay, the wrap strategy, as you saw, I read through the passages. I stopped after each paragraph. I asked questions about the paragraph. Why? What's the main idea about the paragraph? Who, what, where? Those are some ideas. That's some prompts to get us started, some cues to try to figure out what it's about. Ask questions. If I don't understand it, I'm going to go back and reread it so I will understand it. And lastly is P, and that's the paraphrase. And when you go to do this on your own or at your house or you're doing individual work or out somewhere and you're not doing it with a partner or a classmate, in your own mind, if you can retell or paraphrase what you read, it's probably a thumbs up. You probably understand what you've just read. If not, go back and ask them more questions. Maybe you need to reread. You can work through the wrap strategy. It's good to always start with the very beginning here and start with the R, then go to the A, then the P, but sometimes you may have to work in different orders as long as you understand that. Well, on the back of this page, there's a checkup. It says write a short yes or no answer about payday. And it gives us 7 questions here about the Masons and the payday and the passage that we have just read. And by using the WRAP strategy, I feel that this should be easier for us to answer. So we're going to go through here and we're going to answer together these questions. Do the Masons have a lot of bills to pay?
Yes.
Yes. And if we go back and we look at our notes here, we found in the very first paragraph that it says they have a lot of bills to pay. Very good. Does Ray write the checks?
No.
No. Who do we say writes them?
Okay.
Okay. Good job. Have the Masons spent a lot?
Yeah.
Yes. Have they spent their last cent? No. Is their next payday April the 15th?
May.
No, May the 15th. Can the Masons play cards?
Yeah.
Yes, what it told us. Do the Masons have plans to go away in May?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. One last time, before we move on to our next step in reading, is what is the WRAP strategy? Can anybody tell me what this is? That we decided to try together. We're going to improve our reading skills and we are going to retake our quiz after a few weeks to see if this helps improve our reading. So what is the WRAP? What does that mean if you see the word WRAP? What is the WRAP strategy?
Read, ask, paraphrase.
Oh, thank you, Cody. He said read, ask, and paraphrase. He's right. And that's to help us do what? To find what about our reading.
What is going on in the story?
Okay, what's going on in the story, and that's also called sometimes the main idea, the whole reason why we tell stories. Any questions about the WRAP strategy? Do you feel that you could do this on our next assignment?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you feel that you could use the WRAP strategy anywhere else outside of class? I do too. I think I could use it while reading the newspaper. And you know what? That I have discovered that I use the WRAP strategy and I don't even realize it because I've done it for so long. I didn't know it was called the WRAP strategy. I always read something, I usually ask myself a question about it, and then in my own mind I usually retell it. So this is what we're going to use throughout our classes to try to figure out. And one more time, can you guys tell me together, what does the R stand for?
Read the passage.
Read the passage. What does A stand for?
Ask the question.
Ask questions about what you have read. And P, retell your own words. All right, thank you guys. There's the bell. I appreciate your help. Thank you so much.